In a territory once renowned for its storied ancient capitals and millennia of imperial dynasties, a colossal technological future is currently unfolding before the global gaze. Monumental maritime bridges extending for many miles, architectural marvels boasting gravity-defying designs, and entirely autonomous ports are reshaping metropolitan landscapes into vivid manifestations of the coming century. From expansive renewable energy grids spanning desolate deserts to avant-garde transit hubs, sprawling megacities, and sophisticated transportation networks, every element is evolving with breathtaking velocity. These are far more than mere gargantuan structures, as they represent bold endeavors to redefine the way humanity will reside, travel, and forge connections in the eras to come. Today, we delve into the futuristic technology of China, where concepts once relegated to the realm of science fiction are swiftly materializing into reality. The Nanpu Bridge, an urban helix, like a concrete dragon curling within the crowded heart of Shanghai. The Nanpu Bridge is famous for its giant spiral approach, which replaces a traditional long road that would have consumed too much precious land. This spiral is approximately 1,388 feet wide, carrying vehicles through several layers of space before launching them straight onto the main bridge. Opened in 1991 at a cost of about $820 million, it stood as the first cable-stayed bridge in the city with a span of more than 1,312 feet, marking a major advancement in modern bridge engineering. The main span rises about 151 feet above the water, which is high enough for ships weighing 55,000 tons to pass below without obstruction. Two H-shaped towers standing about 492 feet tall and powerful steel cables support the bridge deck, which stretches more than 26,000 feet and carries approximately 120,000 vehicles each day. When night falls, the spiral road and bridge cables illuminate, turning the Nanpu Bridge into a maze of light within a futuristic metropolis. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge curves gracefully across the sea, resembling a majestic white dragon traversing the depths of the ocean. This trans-oceanic superbridge stands as the most magnificent and daring engineering masterpiece of the 21st century. The immense structure utilizes 440,925 short tons of steel, a volume comparable to the capacity of 60 Eiffel Towers, as it resiliently withstands the challenges of the most intensely corrosive maritime environments. The structural pillars of the bridge are so formidable that they would endure without a single fracture, even if a cargo vessel weighing 330,693 short tons were to strike them head-on. Ascending toward the azure heavens are aesthetically striking cable towers, sculpted into the fluid silhouettes of leaping dolphins, intricate traditional knots, and sails billowing in the wind. Gansu Wind Farm, stretching like a steel army across the Gobi Desert. This project turns dry land into a giant field of clean energy. Known as the Great Wall of Wind, it has a capacity of about 20,000 megawatts, which is enough to power an entire nation. Thanks to a natural funnel-shaped landscape, wind is compressed and creates steady energy from more than 7,000 turbines standing close together. Each tower rises like a 30-story building with blades over 164 feet long, spinning like giant steel flowers. Between ancient yellow sand and bright white steel, the scene creates a strong contrast, especially at sunset when long shadows stretch across the ground. From land that once seemed dead, it has become a goldmine of clean energy and a symbol of the push into a new energy era. Gate of the Orient. Standing out among the rough concrete forest with its soft parabolic curves, the Gate of the Orient is the most controversial global media phenomenon in China. Reaching 990 feet high with 74 floors, this masterpiece broke all normal limits to become the tallest artificial art structure on the planet. This superstructure consumed up to 132,277 short tons of load-bearing steel. This is a massive amount, enough to cast 16 Eiffel Towers or 8 aircraft carriers. Located right at the water edge, the entire giant arch reflects on the calm lake surface to form a glowing number 8, symbolizing infinity and luck. Even though it was once the center of mockery because of a struggling construction process that lasted for 11 years, the project finally shined spectacularly. Ignoring the jokes, the tower sends a proud message about having an open view to the world while still holding firm to its cultural roots. The Dunhuang molten salt solar plant. Rising majestically from the barren desert, this colossal energy apparatus stands as a spectacular technological marvel with a profound science fiction essence. The facility preserves thermal energy using a specialized salt compound that commences its liquefaction at 428 degrees Fahrenheit and can be elevated to staggering temperatures of 1049 degrees Fahrenheit without undergoing vaporization. The storage reservoirs are encased in dense insulation to safeguard the searing molten salt, which exceeds 932 degrees Fahrenheit, from the frigid desert temperatures encountered at night. Viewed from a high vantage point, the entire 346-acre expanse blanketed in mirrors resembles a gargantuan silver sunflower flourishing amidst a sea of golden sand. This landscape is in constant motion as 12,000 mirrors tilt in perfect unison at daybreak, generating a brilliantly shimmering mechanical wave. That evokes the thrilling sensation of stepping into the cinematic world of Dune. This masterpiece serves as definitive proof that humanity can generate power continuously 24 hours a day, fueled solely by the sun and salt. Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge. Throwing a crystal ribbon more than 1,410 feet long across a drop of about 984 feet, this structure once held both the title of the longest and the highest glass-bottom bridge in the world, turning a bridge into a direct confrontation with the abyss. Its most famous feature is the deck made from 99 panels of ultra-clear triple-layer glass, making every step feel like walking on air, while the vast emptiness below looks so real that the brain almost refuses to believe the body is still safe. The bridge has no support pier in the middle of the gorge, but hangs fully between towering sandstone cliffs, where thick fog often swallows both ends and makes it look like a path leading straight into nothingness. To prove the strength of the glass, people once let crowds strike the surface with hammers and then drove a 2-ton SUV across cracked panels, turning the test into a bold answer to every doubt. That direct attack on human survival instinct is why the bridge became famous not only for its design, but also for the sight of visitors crawling, crying, freezing in place, or clutching the rail as they force themselves to take the next step across the transparent floor. The Xiaolongdi Dam, Taming the Golden Dragon. Constructed at a cost of approximately $5 billion, the Xiaolongdi Dam is far more than a mere hydroelectric facility. It is a gargantuan machine engineered across the Yellow River to restrain a waterway historically feared for its catastrophic floods and immense sediment. Every year, this river carries approximately 1,880,000,000 tons of silt, enough to construct a path 3 feet high and 3 feet wide that could encircle the Earth 27 times. Behind the dam lies a reservoir holding roughly 3,300,000,000,000 gallons of water, a weight equivalent to 5 million Olympic-sized swimming pools, exerting enormous and constant pressure against its foundation. Over the past 2,000 years, the Yellow River has breached its banks nearly 1,500 times and altered its course 26 times, claiming millions of lives and leaving a legacy of fear that has endured for centuries. To hold back such a violent force, the core of the dam was built as a massive bulwark of earth and rock, standing 505 feet high and stretching 5,469 feet long, vast enough to bury dozens of Great Pyramids. When the floodgates are unleashed, dozens of thick columns of silty water erupt into the air and charge forward like golden dragons, roaring as they tear across the sky. The Rudong Offshore Wind Farm. The giant egg. Like a giant silver egg floating in a lake, the giant egg looks like a spacecraft that has just landed in the middle of an ancient city. To create that shape, builders spent 6 years making a dome about 696 feet long, covered with 18,000 titanium panels and 1,200 strong glass panels without needing support columns. Below the ground, the foundation goes about 106 feet deep, equal to a 10-story building, to hold this giant structure firmly in place. Inside, the total floor area of about 1,600,000 square feet can hold more than 5,000 spectators in 3 separate performance halls. To enter the theater, you must walk through an underwater glass tunnel about 262 feet long, where light passing through the lake makes it feel like an underground palace. When night falls, this $400 million building glows in the dark lake like a giant pearl of art and the future. Lisa Soho. The Rudong Offshore Wind Farm in the East China Sea resembles a gargantuan forest of machinery, rotating without rest to harvest endless energy from the wind. Hundreds of ivory turbines extend all the way to the horizon, with each unit soaring hundreds of feet above the ocean and featuring blades that sweep more than 550 feet across. To ensure this entire mechanical network remains steadfast, engineers were required to drive steel piles approximately 23 feet wide and nearly 328 feet long deep into the seabed. This marked the premier project in Asia to utilize ultra-high voltage direct current transmission, and at its core stands an offshore converter station weighing about 22,000 tons. The massive surge of electricity is then transmitted back to the mainland through a heavily fortified undersea cable, stretching roughly 62 miles long and possessing a thickness comparable to an adult thigh. At maximum capacity, this monumental project can provide sufficient electricity for approximately 1,360,000 homes, while preventing the release of millions of tons of hazardous coal pollution. Şeranhuzu, like a giant silver horseshoe rising beside the water, Şeranhuzu stands about 333 feet tall with 27 floors, completely breaking the familiar image of a box-shaped hotel. When the lake is still, its reflection joins with the real building to form a perfect number 8, suggesting luck, eternity, and prosperity. Inside, the main lobby ceiling is covered with 20,000 Swarovski crystals and wave-shaped crystal lights, creating the feeling of an artificial starry sky. Under visitors' feet are white jade from Afghanistan, tiger eye stone from Brazil, and walkways decorated with rare stones, making every step feel like crossing a treasure haul. To create this bold structure, about $1.5 billion was spent, making it one of the most expensive hotels ever built. When night falls, more than 19,000 LED lights make the whole outer shell glow, reflecting on the water like a giant light show. The Hangzhou Bay Bridge, appearing like a concrete dragon curving across the expanse of the sea. The Hangzhou Bay Bridge stretches approximately 22 miles, and it stood as the longest sea-crossing bridge in the world upon its completion. Rather than following a singular and monotonous straight line, the bridge was designed in an S shape to assist drivers in maintaining alertness during the lengthy journey over the boundless water. The structure is also engineered to withstand a bay characterized by some of the most powerful tidal waves on Earth, where walls of water reaching heights of 23 to 26 feet can strike the bridge supports with terrifying intensity. Beneath the surface lies a layer of soft mud approximately 164 feet deep, forcing engineers to drive steel piles about 262 feet down into solid rock to prevent the bridge from sinking. In the center of the span sits an artificial island encompassing about 108,000 square feet, where travelers can stop to observe the road stretching toward both horizons. Constructed at a cost of approximately $1,500 million and utilizing 882,000 tons of concrete along with 485,000 tons of steel, this bridge transformed a trip that once took 4 hours into a journey of about 2 hours. Tiangong Space Station. Orbiting Earth like a palace in the sky, Tiangong is not only a space laboratory, but also the only space station today operated by a single country. Inside, it has a nearly closed water recycling system and flexible modules that can join together automatically while flying at extreme speed. Outside, its robotic arm is about 33 feet long and can lift 20-ton parts as gently as picking up a leaf with amazing precision. Moving at about 17,400 miles per hour and about 280 miles above Earth, the station circles the planet in only 90 minutes and creates 16 sunrises each day. Through the window, astronauts can see auroras dancing below their feet, while Earth appears like a blue crystal wrapped in a thin layer of air. Although it is currently only for experts, a ticket to be there could be worth more than $50 million, making it the most luxurious destination humans can dream of reaching. The Shanghai Tower. Soaring high to pierce the clouds like a colossal crystal dragon, the Shanghai Tower stands as the ultimate symbol of future sustainable architecture. To establish a formidable foundation, the construction team shattered world records by pouring 78,477 cubic yards of concrete continuously for 63 hours. This is a rare skyscraper, possessing a hollow double-skin structure which functions seamlessly like a massive insulated thermos to conserve millions of kilowatts of cooling electricity. The endless, twisting design of the structure is inspired by the Eastern philosophy of the infinite power of water and the rhythmic movement of all things. At night, the integrated smart lighting system transforms all 128 floors into a brilliantly colored cylindrical screen, illuminating the vast sky with radiance. This spectacular masterpiece proves that humanity can construct vertical cities that generate their own electricity while truly embodying the essence of a living forest. Lupu Bridge. When it first opened, this $300 million steel megastructure held the world record for the longest steel arch bridge, crossing the river with a main span of about 1,805 feet and no support pier in the water. What drew the strongest attention from engineers was that its main arch was not joined by bolts or rivets, but became the first bridge in the world to use full welding for the main arch sections, turning the whole structure into one continuous mass of steel. The 6-lane roadway hangs downward from the arch through a dense web of steel cables, creating the strange feeling that the entire flow of traffic is moving across a giant steel hammock. Its most famous feature is that visitors do not only cross the bridge, but can also climb more than 300 steps along the curved steel side to stand about 328 feet above the water and look out across the city below. To keep that massive steel body stable on weak, muddy ground beside the river, engineers had to create an enormous hidden foundation system, while also allowing the structure to expand and contract with temperature without breaking itself apart. When night falls, thousands of lights running along the arch turn the cold steel into a soft, delicate, and colorful ribbon of light drifting above the river. The Yangshan Automated Port. In the middle of the ocean, a high-tech ghost city operates in an eerie silence where robots have almost entirely replaced humans to control the flow of global trade. This megaport was constructed by flattening offshore mountain peaks and subsequently linking the site to the mainland through a sea bridge stretching approximately 20 miles long. The most fascinating sight is an army of automated guided vehicles gliding silently with millimeter-level precision, creating an astonishing driverless mechanical dance. High above the docks, dozens of bright red cranes move in rhythm like giant machine arms, lifting and unloading millions of containers. These millions of containers are arranged in straight lines, forming a huge, colorful maze that resembles an intricate electronic circuit board when viewed from above. When night falls, high-pressure lights transform the port into a glowing zone in the dark sea, appearing like an advanced alien space station. Guangzhou Opera House. Completely shedding the dryness of primitive geometry, this gracefully winding masterpiece is the greatest deconstructivist architectural love song from the legendary female architect Zaha Hadid. Stretching over 753,474 square feet, this mesmerizing art machine gently deceives the eye by rejecting all rigid right angles and straight vertical walls. Although bearing a wildly asymmetrical form, the 1,800-seat auditorium still smoothly weaves an acoustic miracle with a standard reverberation time of 2 seconds, thanks to plaster grooves winding like silk ribbons. Just stepping inside, travelers will feel the illusion of wandering into an ancient canyon completely swallowed by a smooth champagne yellow space endlessly flowing. At the intimate gap between the two building blocks, brilliant rays of sunlight filter through the cross-steel curtain, gently dropping geometric shadows on the courtyard that dance to the rhythm of time. Standing beneath the canopy like a dreamy, sparkling galaxy, everyone yearns to capture this quiet moment to see how small they are before a vast artistic universe. The Panlong Interchange, a concrete labyrinth. Breaking every conventional design rule, this interchange resembles a giant bowl of concrete noodles dropped into the center of Chongqing. It took 8 years to construct, stacking 5 levels of tangled roads with the highest point hanging about 121 feet above the ground. Once you drive into the middle of it, cars can roar right above your head while other streams of traffic slide below your feet at the same time. From that giant mass of concrete, the roads spread into 8 directions through 20 twisting ramps that feel like roller coasters, turning the whole place into a nightmare that can confuse even modern global positioning systems. When night falls, the lights and endless red and white streams of traffic turn the cold gray structure into the glowing core of a futuristic city. Bird's Nest. This is the largest steel structure on Earth, built from about 46,000 tons of steel twisted into a giant skeleton that can hold itself up without any central columns. The strangest part is that the building does not hide its support system, but shows the whole steel web on the outside, turning its cold skeleton into its most famous beauty. Built over 5 years at a cost of about $428 million, it is not only a stadium, but also a steel statement of power and ambition from a new era. Hidden under the steel are clear PTFE layers that can collect about 15 million gallons of rainwater each year to flush toilets and water the grass, making the whole structure feel like a self-running system. Visitors can also walk the air corridor about 230 feet above the ground, following a narrow path along the roof, and feeling both the height and the wind cutting through the steel gaps. When night falls, red or golden light shines out from inside through the steel shell, making the whole building glow like a giant lantern burning in the city. The Baihetan Dam is the world's second largest hydroelectric power station, and it also became the first project to operate 1,000 megawatt water turbines, marking a major leap for the energy industry. The dam rises about 948 feet high, yet its crest is only about 46 feet thick. It utilizes a very thin, double-curved arch design to transfer enormous water pressure into the rock walls of a narrow and deep canyon. Inside the structure is a vast underground complex large enough to house 16 of the biggest power-generating units on Earth, where rotors weighing more than 2,000 tons still run with remarkable stability. Although it was completed in a little over 5 years, with a total cost of about $32 billion and more than 10 million cubic yards of concrete, the achievement came with a heavy sacrifice as more than 100,000 people had to leave their homes. Tianxi Hotel. Hidden under the colossal forms of 3 Eastern deities, this accommodation machine is an ultimate rebellion, permanently breaking the definition of traditional architectural space. Despite possessing a massive concrete volume, standing 136 feet tall, the structure defies all aerodynamic principles, requiring a foundation anchored deep into the earth to resist the tearing power of hurricanes. To protect the sanctity and integrity of the statue, the facade rejects all modern glass panels. Instead, engineers use spatial algorithms to conceal hundreds of windows within the majestic robe folds and beards. The sudden appearance of three colorful giant entities amidst a quiet urban area creates a surreal visual shock, like a fracture between reality and the mythological world. Rising above trivial material comforts, countless travelers come here yearning to fall asleep inside the belly of the gods, hoping to absorb prosperity and absolute longevity. Even though mocked by academics as the worst aesthetic disaster on the planet, this masterpiece still stands tall as a proud manifesto of the power of faith and indigenous culture. Twisting into the sky like a giant crystal tornado, Lisa Soho is one of the final masterpieces carrying the unreal signature of curve queen Zaha Hadid. The building is actually made of two separate tower halves that twist 45 degrees as they rise, but both are wrapped inside one giant glass skin like fish scales. Its most powerful feature is the world's tallest atrium, reaching about 637 feet, which is a huge hollow space, large enough to hold an entire 50-story building inside. This atrium helps hot air rise and escape, reducing cooling energy by about 25 to 30%, and helping the tower reach LEED Gold Green building standards. When night falls, the lights inside make the whole twisted core glow like a giant energy column, serving as a mesmerizing cyberpunk symbol of future architecture. Tianjin Binhai Library. Seen through its giant glass wall, Tianjin Binhai Library looks like a huge white eye watching the world. This masterpiece covers more than 362,744 square feet, and was completed at incredible speed in only 33 months, proudly setting a Guinness record for construction time. Instead of dry bookshelves, the whole wall becomes flowing curves where shelves turn into stairs and creative reading seats. The central sphere is actually a multi-purpose auditorium, reflecting natural light from the glass wall to brighten the 5-story space. The most shocking detail is that millions of book spines on the upper levels are only images printed on aluminum, creating the illusion of an endless treasure house of knowledge. Tianjin Binhai Library is therefore not only a place to read, but a visual stage where light, curves, and knowledge form a world of their own. Harbin Opera House. Like a giant snow mountain bending across a frozen land, this building, completed in 2015, has become the soul of a UNESCO City of Music. With about 850,000 square feet of floor space, it is one of the largest performing arts centers in Asia, with a grand theater for 1,600 people and a smaller theater for 400. In the smaller hall, a huge glass wall behind the stage lets the audience watch the performance while still seeing the natural landscape outside. To survive temperatures around 40 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit and the heavy weight of snow, the curved roof was carefully shaped so the snow can slide off on its own and protect the steel structure below. At the top is a glass skylight with a crystal-like steel grid that spreads natural light into the main hall like falling snow. Soon after opening, it won the Archdaily Building of the Year award, confirming an architectural idea that does not fight nature, but blends into it completely. These majestic structures are more than just symbols of steel and concrete. They are a testament to the human ambition to conquer unimaginable limits. Which future marvel do you hope to see become a reality? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next journeys exploring the pinnacles of technology with us.